Hello and welcome back again. Today I'll be doing an oil and filter service on my 2-litre HDI 2005 Citroën Berlingo. For this job you'll need the car up in the air, so a pair of ramps or a jack would do just fine. I've got an oil pan and a funnel to use, oil, the oil filter, and I've got a sump plug and washer. The only tool that you'll really need is a socket set. My sump plug was 21mm, yours may vary, and I also have a strap to help undo this oil filter. I've ran the engine for 2 to 3 minutes. This just helps warm the oil up. You don't want it hot, but a little bit warm and it will flow nicer. And by the same token, remove the dipstick and open up the oil filler cap. Again, just to allow it better airflow. And then it's straight under the vehicle. So I've got my 21mm socket here. Just going to crack the nut there, the sump plug. And then you can just open it by hand. Now, bear in mind, it will be messy. So I think I've got it lined up pretty well. But then the wind does strike in this occasion. Allow that to drain. It's going to take a while, but whilst we do let that happen, we're going to get the oil filter out. So that's hit here. You can just see in the darkness. We're going to go underneath the vehicle, and you may be able to get this off by hand. It should be hand tightened only, but as you can see from this one, not a chance. There's not a lot of room here, so you will need that strap tool. The oil filter removal tools come in all shapes and sizes. This is one I've purchased for a previous diesel fuel filter. So it works. I've got my socket wrench just on. That allows me to sort of tighten up the strap, get rid of the tension, and then I can squeeze off and maneuver eventually. I did cut this down by about 15 minutes. This took quite a long time because it was so tight.
Okay, there we go. That is ridiculous. If you have a monkey tighten that.
We're just going to take a little bit of care removing this. It will make a mess and it's going to drip down. So I've got my my pan just underneath. So onto the new filter. Some people do say you should fill this up with oil first, but the position that's going to go on, it's just going to pour out. Really not necessary, but what I do recommend and what you should do is oil up the O-ring. You can use old oil, but I've got the fresh oil here, and that just creates a nice tight seal. Once the threads all line up, just tighten it by hand. No tools required. Do not over tighten it because one, future you will be very upset when you come to do your next change, but also you could ruin the thread. With the car elevated, technically there is still a little bit of oil left in the sump. Now normally for me that's not a problem because I do quite frequent oil changes, but this is a new to me car, so I am going to just allow it to reverse off of, or at least roll off of the ramps, and just that final bit of oil drip out. There's quite a bit actually that comes out onto the cardboard. If this wasn't my first oil change, I'd have skipped this entirely and just left it up on the ramps, filled it up, started the engine, and then topped up as required. But with it being my first, as I said, I just want to fully empty it. So, sump plug back in, and just tighten it to hand. It's 35 Newton meters of torque, but I wouldn't worry. Just don't over tighten it. Make sure it's tight enough, and then it's the oil. So it's 4.5 litres to go into this engine. Plus most of the container there. I'm just going to check periodically because it's much easier to add more than it is to try and take some away. You don't want to overfill and you don't want to underfill. And you're aiming for somewhere in between, go closest to the max if you can. So I will add a little drop more. Final job is to fire up the engine, check for any leaks. The level may drop once the oil goes through the system and into the filter, so top up again if required. And then you're done. It's that simple. So I'll see you again in 5,000 to 7,500 miles. Remember, oil is cheaper than a new engine, so don't wait to 10 or 12,000. Bye!